What if I told you that the real reason you're feeling lost, frustrated, or stuck in life isn't because of your circumstances, but because you don't truly understand who you are? We all have an inner struggle. It's that voice inside that tells you you're not enough, or that you're always falling short. Maybe you feel disconnected from your true self, constantly battling your own thoughts and emotions. Or maybe you're stuck in patterns that you just can't seem to break, no matter how hard you try. But here's the brutal truth that no one wants to hear. Your inner conflict is the result of parts of yourself that you're completely unaware of. Parts that are controlling your life in ways you don't even realize. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in psychology, understood this. He discovered that we're all born with archetypes, hidden forces within our unconscious that shape our decisions, relationships, and even our very identity. These archetypes influence everything, from your fears to your desires, and until you understand them, you'll always be at war with yourself. What if I told you the key to unlocking your true potential and breaking free from this internal chaos lies in embracing and integrating these hidden forces? In this video, we're diving deep into Carl Jung's profound teachings and how understanding archetypes can be the missing piece to achieving true self-discovery. But here's the kicker. You'll have to confront parts of yourself that might be difficult to face. Are you ready to confront your inner demons and unlock your highest potential? Stick with me till the end, and by the time we're done, you'll have the tools to step into a version of yourself you never even thought possible. Let's begin the journey. The truth is waiting for you. Chapter 1. Understanding the Archetypes. What Jung wants you to know about yourself. Are you ready to discover the hidden forces shaping your life? You might have heard the term archetypes before, but do you really know what they are? More importantly, do you understand how they impact the way you think, feel, and act every single day? Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, believed that archetypes are universal, primal symbols or patterns that exist in the collective unconscious. But don't get lost in the technical jargon just yet. Let me break it down for you. Archetypes are like the roles we all play in life, whether we realize it or not. You know the hero in every story you've ever read? That's an archetype. The mother, the rebel, the sage, each of these are characters we might encounter in books, movies, or even our own lives. These roles aren't just fictional. They reflect deep-seated patterns in human nature. The fascinating thing about archetypes is that they're not just stories. They're how we see the world and how we see ourselves. They influence the decisions we make, the people we're drawn to, and the lives we choose to live. Whether you realize it or not, you're probably living out one of these archetypes right now. But here's the catch. Most of us don't know what archetypes we're embodying. Or worse, we might be stuck in one that's limiting us. You may be wondering, why does this matter to me? Well, once you understand how archetypes shape your life, you can take control of your fate. You'll be able to see patterns you never noticed before, and you can finally understand why you're drawn to certain people, jobs, or situations. So, what exactly are these archetypes? Jung identified several major archetypes that govern our inner world, but today let's focus on the 4 key ones that are most likely affecting your life without you even realizing it. The hero. The hero is the one who embarks on a journey of self-discovery. They face challenges, overcome obstacles, and strive to be better. This is the person inside you who seeks growth and adventure, who gets up when life knocks them down. You might feel like the hero when you take on big challenges or push through tough times in your life. The shadow. The shadow represents the parts of ourselves that we try to hide from the world and even from ourselves. These are our fears, insecurities, and repressed desires. It's the uncomfortable part of our psyche we don't want to confront. But when you fail to acknowledge, Your shadow, it takes control, leading to negative behaviors like anger, jealousy, or self-sabotage. Understanding your shadow allows you to embrace your full self and heal the parts you've been ignoring. The persona. This is the mask we wear for the world. It's the version of ourselves we project to others, the successful, confident, and friendly version of who we are. But like any mask, the persona hides our true self. Over-identifying with your persona can lead to a feeling of emptiness because you're not living authentically. Understanding the persona archetype helps you find a balance between how you present yourself and who you truly are inside. The anima, animus. These are the inner opposites within us. The anima is the feminine side of a man, while the animus is the masculine side of a woman. Every person has these opposite energies within them, and they play a significant role in how we interact with others. Integrating these energies helps you become more balanced, leading to healthier relationships with others and yourself. Why? Should you care? Let's step back for a moment. Why is all this important? Well, understanding archetypes is like having a cheat code to your own psyche. When you recognize the patterns in your own behavior, you become more aware of why you do what you do. You can make better decisions, heal past wounds, and stop repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Take a moment and think. Have you ever wondered why you keep attracting the same types of people into your life? Maybe you always date the bad boy or find yourself in toxic friendships. Or perhaps you've noticed how certain situations bring out your best or worst traits. What if I told you that understanding the archetypes inside you could help you break free from these repetitive cycles? It's all about understanding your unconscious influences, the parts of you that are driving your behavior without your conscious awareness. Jung believed that by confronting these archetypes, we could become more self-aware and live more authentically. But it's not just about recognizing your patterns. It's about choosing which archetypes you want to embody. Do you want to keep playing the role of the victim, or are you ready to step into the role of the hero? Do you want to keep hiding behind your persona, or do you want to show the world the real you? The power of self-discovery. As we continue, keep this in mind. Self-discovery is not a destination, it's a journey. Embracing the archetypes inside you is just the beginning, but it's an essential first step. If you can tap into your hero, understand your shadow, and balance your persona, you'll unlock a deeper level of personal power and transformation. So, what's next? Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll dive even deeper into how these archetypes are controlling your life and what you can do to break free from their grip. Chapter 2. The Archetypes Within You. Who's running the show? So, let's break this down a bit more. Archetypes. What are they really? They sound like abstract, psychological concepts, right? But they're actually the hidden characters in your mind, shaping how you view the world and how you respond to it. These archetypes are forces you can't see, but they're always there, influencing every part of your life. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist who developed this concept, saw archetypes as universal symbols or patterns embedded deep in the unconscious mind. They're like mental blueprints we're all born with, and they drive our actions, decisions, and relationships without us even realizing it. You've heard of some of these archetypes before: the hero, the shadow, the anima, animus, and the wise. Old man, but have you ever thought about which ones are actually running the show in your life? Let's look at some of them more closely and see how they show up in your everyday experience. Think of them as different sides of you that come out when life calls for them. The hero. We've all got this part of us that wants to overcome challenges, beat the odds, and make an impact. But when the hero is out of balance, it can drive you to push yourself too hard, take on too much, and feel like a failure when you don't achieve perfection. How often do you feel like you have to be perfect or accomplish something big to feel validated? The shadow. This one's a little trickier. The shadow is the part of you that you don't want to acknowledge or face. It's your dark side, the fears, insecurities, and suppressed emotions that we try to bury. But the truth is, the shadow is often the source of the very behaviors you don't like about yourself. Do you ever find yourself reacting in ways you regret, or feeling like you're sabotaging your own happiness? And then there's the anima and animus, the feminine and masculine energies inside all of us. These archetypes shape how we relate to ourselves and others. If you're a man, the anima represents the feminine qualities within you, like intuition, emotion, and sensitivity. For women, the animus represents the masculine qualities, rationality, assertiveness, and drive. How often do you struggle with embracing both sides of yourself? Do you feel at odds with your own emotions or strength? Finally, let's talk about the wise old man, the part of us that seeks wisdom, guidance, and understanding. This archetype is often present when we go through times of deep introspection or spiritual growth. It can also show up when you're making big life decisions and trying to tap into your higher self. How often do you seek out advice, whether from mentors, books, or your own inner voice? Now, here's the kicker. These archetypes are always interacting with each other. They're not isolated in your mind. Imagine them like a team of characters, each trying to play their role, sometimes working together, sometimes at odds. If your hero feels threatened by the shadow, for example, you might find yourself trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, feeling like you can't move forward. Or maybe your anima is trying to guide you through a difficult emotional moment, but your rational animus is blocking it out, telling you to just think logically instead of embracing what you're truly feeling. The problem comes when one archetype becomes too dominant. If your hero takes over too much, you might push yourself into burnout. If your shadow goes unchecked, you might find yourself sabotaging relationships or opportunities. If your anima or animus is too suppressed, you could feel disconnected from yourself, your emotions, or your desires. This is why understanding your archetypes isn't just an abstract exercise. It's a life-changing tool. When you recognize which archetypes are influencing you, you can begin to balance them out. By understanding these unconscious forces, you gain power over them. Instead of being controlled by patterns you don't even recognize, you start to consciously choose which parts of yourself to embrace and when to lean into them. This is where real self-discovery begins. So which archetypes are running the show in your life right now? And are they helping you become the person you want to be, or are they holding you back? In the next part, we'll dive deeper into how to identify and integrate these archetypes into your daily life, so you can start taking control instead of being a victim of unconscious patterns. But before we go there, think about this. How often do you act out of unconscious fear, or find yourself stuck in patterns that don't serve you? What if you could tap into the hidden wisdom of your inner archetypes to break free and finally live the life you've always wanted? The power to change is within you. Let's keep digging. If this content is making sense to you, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Chapter 3. Integrating your archetypes, the path to self-mastery. Now that we've explored the hidden forces shaping your life, your archetypes, let's dive into how you can actually integrate them and take control of your journey. This is where the magic happens. If you've been feeling stuck, unsure of who you truly are, or like you're constantly fighting yourself, this part is going to be a game changer. Jung wasn't just about identifying these forces within us. He was all about how we bring them together and make them work in harmony. Let's start with a simple but profound idea. Self-mastery isn't about suppressing parts of yourself. It's about integrating them. And this integration requires facing the parts of you that are uncomfortable, hidden, or suppressed. You see, each archetype has both positive and negative aspects. And the key is not to get rid of the negative parts, but to embrace them in a healthy way. When you do this, you'll experience less internal conflict, more balance, and a greater sense of inner peace. The power of confronting your shadow. Let's start with the shadow, probably the most uncomfortable archetype to deal with, but the one with the most transformative power. Why? Because your shadow holds the key to personal growth. Think of it like this. The shadow is the part of you that contains everything you've rejected or repressed. It's your fear of failure, your jealousy, your anger, everything you're ashamed of or don't want to acknowledge. And here's the kicker: the more you try to deny the shadow, the more power it has over you. Have you ever found yourself reacting to something in an extreme way, feeling anger or jealousy, and wondering where it came from? That's your shadow at work. It's not that you're a bad person. It's that you've been avoiding or denying certain aspects of yourself that need attention. But here's the truth. When you face the shadow, when you acknowledge these darker parts of yourself and stop running from them, you can finally gain control. It's not about erasing these traits. It's about accepting them, learning from them, and then choosing how to act. By confronting your shadow, you integrate it. You stop being a victim of your own unconscious reactions, and you take back your power. You begin to feel more complete as a person, because you're not divided, you're whole. The hero's journey, balancing ambition with compassion. Next, let's look at the hero archetype. This is the part of you that's always pushing forward, seeking challenges and striving to be better. Sounds great, right? Well, here's the catch. If the hero becomes too dominant, it can lead to burnout, perfectionism, and a lack of self-compassion. The hero's ambition can be a double-edged sword. While it can drive you to achieve great things, it can also cause you to neglect self-care, overwork, and get caught up in a cycle of self-criticism. You know that feeling of always thinking you're not doing enough or falling short? That's the hero's negative side running rampant. So how do we integrate the hero? Balance. Acknowledge the hero's ambition, but bring in compassion and rest. It's about pushing yourself forward while also allowing space for reflection and self-acceptance. Ask yourself, are you constantly chasing achievements at the expense of your own well-being? Can you learn to balance the drive for success with a more nurturing, compassionate approach to yourself? Embracing the anima and animus. Connecting with your inner self, moving on to the anima and animus. These are the parts of us that represent the opposite gender energy within. The anima in men represents their inner feminine side, and the animus in women represents their inner masculine side. It's about tapping into the qualities that are often overlooked in our daily lives. For men, integrating the anima might mean reconnecting with your emotional side, trusting your intuition, and allowing yourself to express vulnerability. For women, integrating the animus means embracing assertiveness, rational thinking, and leadership. A big part of self-mastery is about balancing these energies. Are you too focused on the rational, masculine energy in your life and ignoring your emotional, intuitive side? Or are you allowing your emotions to control you without tapping into the power of logic and rationality? When we balance both energies, we find a healthier, more whole version of ourselves. The wise old man, seeking guidance. Finally, there's the wise old man archetype, which represents our inner source of wisdom, spiritual insight, and guidance. This is the part of you that knows how to tap into your highest potential, even when life gets chaotic. To integrate this archetype, you have to be willing to listen. It's about quieting the noise and tapping into your deeper knowing, whether through meditation, self-reflection, or seeking advice from trusted mentors. The wise old man offers you perspective, allowing you to see life not just in the moment, but from a broader, more meaningful vantage point. So, how can you start connecting with the wise old man inside you? Start by embracing stillness and slowing down your mind. Trust your intuition. When was the last time you listened to that quiet voice of wisdom inside you? Wrapping up Chapter 3. As you can see, integrating these archetypes isn't about fixing yourself, it's about embracing all of who you are. When you learn to balance your inner hero, shadow, anima, animus, and wise old man, you start to live from a place of greater understanding and alignment. In the next part, we'll talk about the practical steps to start integrating these archetypes into your life. We'll break it down so you can begin this process immediately and start seeing real change. But before we go on, I want you to reflect for a moment. Which archetypes do you feel most connected to right now? And more importantly, which ones do you feel are underdeveloped or unbalanced in your life? The answers to these questions will guide you toward the deeper self-discovery you're craving. Chapter 4. Practical steps to integrating your archetypes, a blueprint for transformation. Now that we've explored the theory behind archetypes and how they shape our lives, it's time to talk about the practical steps you can take to integrate them. This isn't about just knowing about your archetypes. It's about actively working with them to create real, tangible change in your life. If you're still here, you're likely ready to break free from inner conflict, take control, and finally start living a life that feels aligned with who you really are. Well, this is the part where you take the first steps towards that. So let's dive in. Step 1. Recognizing your dominant archetypes. Before you can integrate your archetypes, you first need to identify which ones are most dominant in your life. This requires a bit of introspection and self-awareness. Ask yourself these questions. What patterns keep repeating in my life? What emotions do I struggle with the most? What roles do I tend to play in my relationships and career? For example, do you find yourself constantly striving for perfection and success? That might be your hero archetype in overdrive. Or do you tend to avoid conflict and keep your feelings buried? That could be a sign of a repressed shadow. Start by journaling or reflecting on past experiences to see which archetypes you identify with most. Write down the patterns you see in your behavior, thoughts, and emotions. The more specific you get, the clearer it will become which archetypes need your attention. Step 2. Confront your shadow. No more hiding. If you've been avoiding your shadow, now's the time to face it. The shadow holds the key to your greatest growth, but it requires courage to confront the parts of you that you've rejected. Here's how you can start. Acknowledge the darkness. Start by accepting that you have a shadow. It's not about being a bad person. It's about recognizing that we all have these darker sides, and they don't define us unless we let them. Examine your triggers. Pay attention to the moments when you feel intense emotion, anger, jealousy, shame, guilt. These are often signals that your shadow is at play. Ask yourself, why does this trigger me so deeply? What part of me is reacting? Reflect on your past. Sometimes your shadow is tied to unresolved experiences or trauma. Take some time to reflect on key moments in your life where you felt rejected, hurt, or abandoned. The shadow often forms around these painful memories. Practice self-compassion. When you confront your shadow, it can feel overwhelming. Be kind to yourself. Remember, this is a journey. You're not here to punish yourself. You're here to understand yourself better. Step 3. Balancing your hero's drive. As we mentioned earlier, the hero's ambition can become unhealthy when it's unchecked. To balance this drive, you need to integrate rest, self-compassion, and realistic goals into your life. Here's how. Set boundaries. If you're constantly striving, always working, and never taking a break, it's time to create boundaries. Rest isn't laziness. It's necessary for long-term success and mental health. Reframe perfectionism. Instead of thinking you have to be perfect, focus on progress. Ask yourself, what can I improve today, and what can I let go of? Perfectionism can hold you back from truly living. Embrace imperfection and focus on growth. Celebrate your wins. The hero tends to focus on the next challenge, but it's crucial to pause and acknowledge your achievements, no matter how small they seem. Celebrate your journey, not just the destination. Practice gratitude. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine can help ground you and prevent burnout. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what you already have, helping you balance ambition with contentment. Step 4. Embracing your inner feminine or masculine energy. Regardless of your gender, you have both feminine and masculine energies within you. The anima and animus archetypes represent these energies, and integrating them can bring a sense of balance to your life. For men, connect with your anima. Men often neglect their emotional and intuitive side, but your anima holds the key to deeper emotional connection and creativity. Try engaging in activities that allow you to express your emotions, such as journaling, creative arts, or deep conversations with trusted friends. For women, embrace your animus. Women can sometimes suppress their inner power, especially when society encourages them to be more passive or accommodating. The animus represents assertiveness and logic. Practice taking charge in situations where you might typically hold back. Trust your ability to make decisions with confidence. Find balance. If you feel imbalanced, it's often because one energy is overpowering the other. Take note of areas where you may need more emotional expression, or where you could use more assertiveness. Balancing both sides of yourself will make you feel more whole and in control. Step 5. Tap into your inner wisdom. The wise old man, woman. Lastly, to truly live with self-mastery, you must connect with your inner source of wisdom. This part of you knows how to make decisions that are aligned with your highest good. Here's how you can tap into it. Practice stillness. The wise old man-woman archetype thrives in quietude. Start meditating or spending time in nature. The quieter you get, the more you'll hear your own inner voice. Seek guidance. It's okay to ask for help. Whether through mentors, books, or spiritual practices, the wise old man represents a deep understanding of life. Be open to learning from others who have walked the path before you. Trust your intuition. The wise old man also represents your ability to trust your gut. When you feel uncertain, lean into your intuition. The more you listen, the stronger this connection will become. Wrapping up Chapter 4. By now, you have the tools to start integrating your archetypes and creating a life of balance and inner peace. Recognizing your dominant archetypes, confronting your shadow, balancing your hero's drive, embracing your anima or animus, and tapping into your wise old man are all key steps in your journey towards self-mastery. In the next part, we'll dive deeper into the final piece of this puzzle, how living in alignment with your archetypes can transform your relationships, career, and overall well-being. But for now, take a moment to reflect. How can you begin to implement these steps into your life? Which archetypes are calling for your attention? Chapter 5. Living in Alignment. The final piece of the puzzle. We've now explored the depths of your archetypes, from uncovering hidden forces within you to the practical steps to integrate them. But the real question is, how do you live with this newfound awareness and transform your life for good? Understanding archetypes and integrating them is only part of the journey. The true transformation begins when you start living in alignment with them. This alignment isn't just about intellectual knowledge. It's about embodying these aspects of yourself in your everyday life. It's about taking conscious action that reflects the highest expression of who you are. Step 1. Create a life of authenticity. The first step to living in alignment with your archetypes is to live authentically. Authenticity means being true to who you really are, not the version of yourself you think others expect you to be. Speak your truth. Start by expressing yourself openly and honestly in conversations. Stop trying to mold yourself into someone you think people will like. Instead, embrace your real self, even if it makes others uncomfortable. People will respect your authenticity and you'll feel more confident. Align with your values. Your values are the compass that guides you through life. If you know your archetypes, your values should reflect the essence of who you are. Are you living in a way that is congruent with your core values? If not, it's time to reassess your goals, relationships, and career choices. Stop seeking approval. The desire to be liked can often overshadow the need to be authentic. When you understand your archetypes, you stop seeking external validation. You realize that the only validation you need is your own. Step 2, transform your relationships. Your relationships, whether with your partner, friends, family, or colleagues, are deeply impacted by the archetypes you carry. When you understand your own archetypes, you can approach relationships in a much more empowered and balanced way. Identify the archetypes of others. Just like you, those around you have their own dominant archetypes. Understanding their motivations, fears, and patterns can lead to deeper empathy and stronger connections. For example, if you're in a relationship with someone who has a dominant shadow archetype, they may act out in ways that feel intense or unpredictable. Understanding this can help you communicate more effectively and support them in a way that fosters growth. Set healthy boundaries. When you start to live authentically and in alignment with your archetypes, you'll naturally begin to set better boundaries in your relationships. Whether it's saying no when you need to, expressing your needs clearly, or walking away from toxic situations, boundaries are a key element of emotional health. Transform your intimate relationships. Your intimate relationships are a powerful mirror of your internal world. When you work with your archetypes, you'll see that many of your emotional patterns in love are related to these deeper unconscious forces. For example, if you're constantly choosing partners that aren't good for you, it could be because your anima or animus is underdeveloped or distorted. By healing these aspects, you can create more fulfilling, healthy relationships. Step 3. Make empowered career choices. Living in alignment with your archetypes isn't just about your personal relationships. It also has a huge impact on your career and sense of purpose. When you understand the archetypes that drive you, you can choose a career that aligns with your deepest values and abilities. Find your true calling. The hero archetype might push you towards success, but if that success doesn't resonate with your true self, you'll feel unfulfilled. Take a step back and ask, what do I really want to contribute to the world? Your answer might reveal a new direction in your career that better suits your archetypal strengths. Avoid career burnout. It's easy to burn out if you're pushing yourself too hard, driven by the wrong archetypes. Perhaps your hero archetype is pushing you too fast without self-care, or maybe your shadow is keeping you stuck in fear of failure. Balance your drive with moments of self-reflection and rest, and make sure your career aligns with your deeper values and archetypal strengths. Embrace creative self-expression. If you're feeling stuck in a job that doesn't ignite your passion, perhaps your creative archetype is begging for an outlet. Whether through art, writing, or starting a business, allow yourself the space to express your creative energy. This is not just about money, it's about purpose. Step 4. Cultivate inner peace and emotional mastery. Now that you're starting to live in alignment with your archetypes, the last piece of the puzzle is achieving inner peace. When you are connected to the deeper layers of your psyche, you no longer have to fight with yourself. Instead, you experience more harmony and emotional balance. Embrace shadow work. The more you confront your shadow and integrate the aspects of yourself you've been avoiding, the more peace you'll feel. This work can be uncomfortable, but it's essential for creating a harmonious inner world. Use techniques like journaling, meditation, and mindfulness to help process and release repressed emotions. Meditate and ground yourself. Meditation is a powerful tool for aligning your conscious mind with your unconscious archetypes. When you meditate, you access a deeper level of wisdom that allows you to tap into your wise old man, woman archetype. This connection provides clarity, inner peace, and emotional mastery. Celebrate your growth. As you grow, celebrate your progress. Don't wait for the perfect moment to feel accomplished. Every small step forward in integrating your archetypes is worth celebrating. Step 5. Realize your highest potential finally. As you begin to integrate these archetypes into your life, you'll start to realize your highest potential. This isn't about reaching some idealized version of yourself, but about becoming the fullest version of the person you were meant to be. You'll no longer be stuck in conflict with yourself. Instead, you'll be living a life of purpose, fulfillment, and emotional wholeness. Your archetypes will no longer control you. Instead, you'll be able to use their power to guide you to a life that is authentic, aligned, and purposeful. The journey of self-discovery doesn't end here. It's an ongoing process of growth, reflection, and transformation. Keep embracing the integration of your archetypes, and you'll continue to evolve into the person you're meant to become. Closing thoughts. In summary, integrating your archetypes is a powerful way to unlock your full potential. By confronting your shadow, balancing your inner energies, and living in alignment with who you truly are, you can create a life of authenticity, purpose, and inner peace. The road to self-discovery isn't easy, but it is the most rewarding journey you can undertake. So, are you ready to take the first step toward mastering your archetypes and stepping into the best version of yourself? Thank you for watching, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who might benefit from it. Remember, the truth is waiting for you, and it's time to embrace it.